Hello chess lovers, Suren is here and I have an interesting game for you played between the 12th world chess champion Anatoly Karpov and Super System 3 computer, which was released in 1979. In its time, the Super System 3 was the Rolls-Royce of chess computers. This game was played during the 1980 chess tournament in Bad Kissingen, Germany, where Anatoly Karpov played against 25 Super System 3 computers in a simultaneous exhibition. Now let's have a look how the game went on. Karpov had white pieces and he started with c4 English opening, and after e5 white has black's position in the Sicilian bed with an extra tempo. Knight c3, knight c6, g3, bishop c5, bishop g2, knight f6, knight f3. Both players are developing their pieces, nothing special. We see castling by both sides, d6, d3, bishop e6, a3. White was to start an advancement on the queen side, a5. Black is taking under control b4 square, not allowing b4, h3, queen e7, rook b1 and bishop f5, after which white is managing to gain a huge advantage. The thing is that when the bishop was on e6 square, it was controlling the d5 square, and knight d5 could have been met with bishop takes d5, but after bishop f5 white played bishop g5, and already this knight d5 move is the threat, and white is threatening to damage black's pawn structure on the king side. King h8 was played, but let's have a look. Isn't there any way to act against that threat? For example, now if bishop e6, then this time white can play knight e4, or after bishop g5 if h6, then knight d5, white is attacking black queen and then is capturing on f6 and then on h6. Let's go back. That's why after bishop g5 black responded with king h8. Now comes knight d5, queen d8 and b4. Karpov is still not hurrying to capture on f6. He is using the fact that his knight is still on this active d5 square and is advancing on the queen side. A takes b4, a takes b4, bishop a7, rook a1, h6, and only now white captures on f6. G takes f6, queen d2. The queen is coming after the pawn on h6 square, king h7, knight h4, bishop e6, bishop e4 check, king g7 and g4. Instead of playing g4, actually e3 is stronger. It was important to take under control the d4 square, not allow knight d4 and prepare b5. But instead after king g7 we see g4, knight d4, and overlooking black's next threat, Karpov played king h2, a terrible blunder which allows black to play knight b3 and fork the queen and the rook. Queen b2, and black is winning the rook on a1. e3, well, if a move like rook takes a1, then black can simply capture on f2. That's why after knight takes a1, Karpov decided first to play e3, protect the pawn and only then capture on a1. But it turns out that black is managing to gain a precious time and is managing to save the knight. c6 was played, knight c3, now comes d5, c takes d5, c takes d5, bishop g2 and d4. Black managed to open up the bishop's diagonal and already can play knight b3 and save the knight. Knight b5, queen b6, knight takes a7, and black recaptured with the queen, thus protecting the knight on a1. White's position is actually hopeless, but Karpov is trying his luck and is organizing an attack on the king side. F takes e5, f takes e5, queen takes e5 check, king g8 and knight g6. White is creating a very dangerous mating threat. White is using the fact that the knight can't be captured because he can win the bishop on e6, and then this exposed black king can easily get checkmated. Let's have a look at one of the possible lines how black king can get checkmated. Let's go back. But after knight g6, in a position where black is completely winning, Super System 3 blundered and played rook d8. It was better to play queen b8, pin the queen, force the exchange of queens, and this is simply over. Black is winning. If bishop e4 check, then f5. But after knight g6 we see rook d8. which allowed Karpov to announce checkmate in one. A very dramatic finish, I think. I have no idea what Super System 3 had in mind after knight g6, but definitely there was something wrong in its head and it got checkmated after rook d8. Actually, the game was not played badly by the computer, and missing mate in one in a position where you have an extra rook is very strange. Thanks for watching. Here are more suggestions for you, and for more games don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I will see you in the next video.